Crew members, senior Jess Randolph on the right and sophomore Phoebe Knox on the left. The Sharks raced twice this weekend, taking on MIT and Bates on Saturday before competing in the Wellesley Invitational on Sunday. Both races will take place on the Charles River in Boston and Cambridge. Jess, the Sharks officially kicked off the spring season last weekend, and the varsity 1-8 placed second to MIT while beating Coast Guard and Smith. Can you talk about the difference between your first race of the fall in October and your first race of the spring season? How is your mindset different?
Well, in the fall the races are much longer and we don't start all together one by one, so it's a little bit harder to be as competitive and as aggressive, whereas in the spring we all start at the same time, so we're next to all the boats all at once, and it's just a lot more aggressive, it's faster, we're a lot more competitive, and the races are shorter, so it's just a lot more intense.
When you say they're longer in the fall, longer by distance?
Yes, so in the fall there's 6,000 meters, and in the spring it's only 2,000 meters.
And how does that affect you? You prepare for those races differently, and how do you prepare differently for those?
In practice we do a lot more sprints, high stroke rate pieces, a lot more intense, and in the fall it's a lot more just endurance building, steady state pieces, lower stroke rates.
And what's your strategy like for a shorter race as compared to longer?
I think just go for it, high stroke rates, just full pressure, sprint it out. It's only about 8 minutes or less of just torture and pain, so just do it, get it over with, and we'll be great.
Now, Phoebe, the Sharks earned the NUMAC Boat of the Week honors following last week's race. How did the team feel about that, and how close is the varsity 1-8 to being where you think they want to be in terms of being ready to compete each week?
Yeah, so the 1B got Boat of the Week last week, and we were really excited about that because it's a great way to start the season strong. We have 4 seniors in our boat, and the 4 non-seniors were really psyched to work with the seniors and give them like a great start to their last season. So that was really great for us. In terms of where we are as a boat for the season, I think we're doing really well so far. The races this weekend will obviously make a big impact on how we perform in the rest of the season, but so far it's looking good. And yeah, I mean, right now we're just trying to do as well as we can in the NUMAC championships, which are coming up in April. So that's our goal right now.
A lot of the sophomores, including yourself, that compete in the 1V also competed last year on the varsity as first years. What have you learned from last year that you've taken into this season?
I think college racing is a whole new level of competition, and I think that a lot of the current sophomores, we were obviously freshmen last year, and while we had racing experience from high school, I think that the college level is a lot more intense, and so for us it was adjusting to the new level of performance. And now that we've got that under our belt and we have a good sense of the competition, we just go into the season knowing a lot more, which is really helpful.
Now, Jess, this week the Sharks entered the national rankings for the first time since 2013, and you're ranked 11th in the nation. Can you talk about what it means to the team, and does it push you as a group to sustain that level of success?
Being nationally ranked, it's a big honor. It shows how hard we've worked and that people have noticed, and it's paying off in the long run. It drives us to just work harder to keep that ranking or to try and get a better ranking. And it just shows us that we can compete with other schools in the nation, being a D3 school and being a smaller school.
Now,
so,
how did you all find out that you were nationally ranked? Is that something where a coach tells you, or do you find it out on your own, or how does that happen?
I found it out on my own. Just teammates that post on Facebook just say, "Oh, keep up the hard work," and then that's how I found out.
Yeah. And for both of you, this weekend the Sharks will compete on 2 different days. How does that affect your preparation as compared to just racing on one day? Do you do anything different than you normally would? How does that look?
I think that the fact that we have 2 races in one weekend doesn't really change how we perform. It mostly just changes how we recover. Usually if we have 1 race on Saturday, we will have like Sunday off, for example, and it's kind of like you can coast through the rest of the weekend, but this just means we have to keep our focus. And I mean, recovery is everything, like staying hydrated and, you know, taking care of your body. But I love racing like twice in one weekend. I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
Because we get to compare side by side the races from each day, which is cool.
What do you think, Jess?
I think it just, like Phoebe said, just have to keep your focus. Just give it your all for both races. Don't like go all out for one and just say, oh, like I'm exhausted now for the next race. I'm not going to pull as hard. Just just stay aggressive. We've worked hard. We can do 2 8-minute pieces for the weekend. It's less than what we do in practice, so we know we can do it.
And what's the team's feeling as you enter the weekend? How do you like your chances?
I think based on last weekend, we're going to do pretty well. We have some tough competition. I mean, Wellesley is always really great competition. We race them a lot in the fall and a lot in the spring. They're in all of our leagues. Let's see, Bates, they did really well last year, and they're a really fast crew, so we're going to see how they do against them. MIT Lightweights, we beat them last year, so and they are a Division I school, so that's pretty exciting to have that under our belt. We raced our heavyweights last weekend, so now we get a chance to see how we do against their lightweights. Let's see, who else? William Smith, they were a solid team last year.
And UNH.
And UNH. UNH is getting faster every year, so it's pretty exciting. We have a good lineup, so I think that it'll be interesting to see how Simmons does against these fast teams. Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about it. I think we'll do well.
Yeah.
Well, great. Good luck this weekend, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.